medical examiner's office has released the cause of deaths of a well-known couple in Brooklyn who were found dead in their home earlier this month. Autopsies show 75-year-old William Cohen appears to have shot his wife, 71-year-old Pamela Cohen, before shooting himself. Both died by gunshot wounds to the head, and her death has been ruled a homicide, and his death has been ruled a suicide. The Hancock County Sheriff's Office responded to the home on the East Road on the afternoon of July 2nd, and that's when they found their bodies. Bill Cohen was the chair of the Brooklyn Board of Selectmen. He was also a familiar face on television during the ice storm of '98 as the spokesperson for Bangor Hydro. He also served as a spokesperson for the former Verso Mill in Bucksport and Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. If you or someone you know needs help or is experiencing a crisis, resources are available at 988 or 988lifeline.org.